What is up, watch friends? Welcome to another episode of Talking Timepieces with Tony. I am Tony. It's Friday, and I hope you guys had a better week than I did, man. This was a freaking horrible week, watch-wise and otherwise, but it's now Friday, so we're good. We got the Q&A. First, I wanted to just do a brief rant. I hope you guys don't mind, but, whatever. I don't usually block people at all, and I've never blocked anyone from Instagram until this week. Okay, now this is not why I had such a bad week, but I just want to let you know, I post, I've got a freaking sense of humor, you know what I mean? It's like, and people don't. Simple as that, I mean, I posted a video with me and Juan. This is how you get a Rolex. And oh, hi Juan, do you have Wimbledon for sale? Why, yes I do. Great. Oh, there's a tag on it that says exhibition. And then I get the thing that bothers me is when it comes from a channel that has a fairly good presence in the watch business, telling me how full of shit I am. You know what I mean? And that's like, dude, if you don't believe I got the watch, that's fine. You don't have to. But you can also go to my YouTube channel and watch me unboxing the video at my house, showing that I have it. Or you can just continue to hate. The guy just decided he wanted to continue to hate and just spit all kinds of venom at me and how knowledgeable he is about Rolex ADs, and I don't know anything. Fair enough, dude. I didn't even block that guy, but I blocked a couple others. In the interim of all that, I'd never gotten so much hate from one little type of skit. It's unbelievable, you know what I mean? I also have a video on there where I point at the Rolex book and I make the watch appear from the Rolex book. But no one said anything about that. That didn't happen. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, lighten up, dude. And dudes, dudettes, whatever you are. That's not all of it. I had to delete that video, and I had to delete my unboxing video that I did, and I'll explain why. But I don't want to burn any bridges, man. And it's not worth the hassle. But the bottom line is, I have the watch. I'm wearing it. Rolex Datejust 36 Wimbledon. All right, fucking lighten up, So most of you guys know me, know I have a sense of humor. I would hope, I don't take this shit too seriously either. It's essentially, it's a fun hobby, and they're just watches. You know what I mean? If this is the what are you like? Were you spoiled? Not you guys, like a spoiled brat who never suffered in life for anything, and getting the watch was, I got other shit to worry about than a fucking watch, but whatever. So sorry if you guys have now already clicked off, but let's get to the Q&A. We'll roll the intro, and all right. So sorry about the rant, but and again, I know trust me, my whole week wasn't based off of a couple of shitty comments. Trust me, there was all other stuff. But let's get to the Q&A. This comes from crazy_Joe_Devola. Question for Friday: what are your thoughts on the idea that one reason that Rolex 2024 releases more precious metal, high retail price point focused is that it's yet another quiet move to further suppress the flippers gray market in 2024? So you're talking about Rolex coming out with the more precious metals to try to suppress the flippers? No, Rolex don't fucking give a shit about flippers. And besides, that whole flipping crap is just about done. There's so few of them left. There's nothing really flippable. You know what I mean? You can get these watches now at pretty much retail or a little bit above, apart from GMTs and Daytonas, when it comes down to it. So no, I think what they did is that Rolex, they've catered to the Datejust, the OPs, the GMTs even, for a period of time, and those are the stainless steel models. They also want to cater to their higher end clientele that do like the diamonds and do like the solid gold, So they're, this year they just happened to come out with, you know, a few more day dates, which are beautiful. They came out with some Daytonas with the diamonds and whatever, you know, so that's what they're focused on, the Platinum 1908. So yeah, they're just focusing themselves, you know, they're gearing themselves towards their higher end clientele too, because they have that as well, you know what I mean? So I don't think it's got anything to do with flippers, man. So, but thanks for your question, dude. Worn down crown. Hey Tony, how do you personally judge when your collection is full? And when do you start to feel like you're content with the collection you have? Wishing you a blessed weekend. Morgan. Thanks, Morgan. How do you judge when your collection is full? Like right now, my collection is full, you know. I don't know. When you feel like you've got more watches than you can wear, and even like I constantly rotate my watches. I take them off. I'll wear a watch for 10 minutes and take it off and put another watch on when I'm at home, you know, of course. And right now I'm pretty content with my collection, you know, and you know, it's like just, it's pretty simple. I've got several Rolex, Cartier, and whatever, you know, the watches that I have that I like. Pretty content. There's always, you know, there's always something else you want. You're never going to be really content, you know what I mean? When you're that deep in the rabbit hole, you know, it's just, it's never enough. You're fine and you're content for a certain period of time, and then all of a sudden that thing sneaks up, that little demon on your shoulder goes, hey man, you know, why don't you go think about getting a new watch? Oh, dude, I just got a new watch. No, you need more. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. Oh, think of all the nice watches you have. You don't need another watch. You've got so many Rolex. Get the fuck out of here. All right, let's go get a new watch. You know what I mean? So yeah, you never really know, man. But thank you for your question, man. I appreciate it. This one comes from Swissmade 1497. Hi Tony, would you mind doing a video on your relationship with Warner Brothers? Dude, I think I've probably done quite a few of those, man. It's nothing really so to, you know. No, I won't do a full video on my relationship with Warner Brothers. I know people who work there. I've worked with record companies, with Warner and all that stuff, and I'm also a fan of some of their shows and cartoons, you know. So that's pretty much it. And I live on the Warner Brothers lot pretty much. So appreciate it though. This one comes from IXOXO. Oh, Asia. Asia, what's happening? Congratulations, Tony. I love the watch. The Wimbledon is a great watch. Thanks. I love it. I absolutely love it. Although I was almost not loving it when. I have a question. What are your thoughts on watch winders? I was given one by my AD, but I have not used it yet just because I wanted more information and opinions on it. I'm super grateful for my AD gifting it to me. That was super nice of him. Cool. That's awesome. Watch winders are cool. I've got a 4-slot watch winder that I've not used in years. In years and years and years. Some people will say, oh, no, don't use a watch winder. You don't want to keep your watch wound. You know, but what happens if you wear it daily? You keep the watch wound, right? But at the same time, you know, I don't think it matters, you know. I think if you wear a watch periodically or whatever, you don't always, if you have a watch that you rotate every few days and you know that watch is going to stop and you're going, oh, you know, I was going to wear it in a few days and it stops, then keep it on a winder. It doesn't matter. The watches that I would say always keep on a watch winder are annual calendars, perpetual calendars, things like that. Things that watches that have higher complication that are really difficult to set if they stop, you know. But as far as you know, I mean, if you have a GMT, Rolex GMT, you know, if you want to keep it wound because you wear it, you know what I mean, then it's fine. I don't think it does anything to the watch. It wears it. It just like, yeah, it's running, but it's not any more wear and tear. You know, there's the pros and the cons, and it doesn't really matter. It's up to you whether you not want to keep it on a winder. Pardon me, I'm stuttering now. Would I keep a date just on a watch winder? Yeah, if I was. If they weren't so easy to set. I mean, you can set them so fast it doesn't even matter. You don't even need to keep it on a watch winder. But if you want to use it, use it. And it's not going to hurt your watch if that's what you think. All right. So I hope I answered your question. Thanks, Asia. Antpara, Antepara 1629. Cartier Boutique says I have a good chance of on getting allocated the yellow gold time only Tortue. It's limited to 200 pieces, but do you think it's really worth the $31,000 price tag? Yeah, it's privé, man. It's a limited piece. It's like high horology, man. You know, Cartier have high horology. You know, I mean, let me ask you a question. Do you think a Patek Philippe Calatrava is worth $31,000? Put it in that same sort of comparison. You know, people who dog on Cartier and say Cartier aren't anywhere close, they are. I think Cartier make better watches than Patek. In certain cases, not all, not every watch, but they're equally, they're three-hand, if you wanted to go with their mono pusher or whatever, but that's fine. I do think it's worth it. I don't think, it's not going to be worth as much on the second. Well, actually, it's a too limited piece, so it could, it might be. But yeah, I think it's definitely well worth $31,000, dude. It's just up to you whether or not you want to spend the money, if you'd be happy with the watch after you've spent the money. You know what I mean? So, but I wish you the best of luck. Here's a question. It's more of a statement, and this dude was pissed off about this. I don't know. I knew those pieces were for sale. I had a couple ADs lie to my face and say that they couldn't sell them. They had to send them back. And I actually responded to this guy. It's like, dude, ADs have the option to sell a watch if they want to or if they don't. Sometimes they have watches that are display, exhibition only or whatever, and they're on exhibition for a certain period of time, and they won't sell that watch to anyone, no matter who you are. There comes a time where that watch is ready to maybe move on from the exhibition only line and get ready to be sold, And that's what happens, and it's up to the discretion of the ADs whether or not they're going to sell the watch, But getting all negative and saying, lie to my face, you know what I mean? And also I had someone else tell me that all those exhibition models are dummy watches. They don't have movements in them. That's another bullshit fucking thing. There are, back in COVID, a lot of those exhibition models did. They had like a blank weight in it, that they weren't functional watches. That's true. But most of these watches now that you see as exhibition are functioning, running watches. And then again, it's up to the discretion of the AD whether or not they're going to sell it to you or not. And again, some of these pieces, they won't sell. They've got rules and regulations and policies and procedures, just like a lot of other companies, just like every other company, you know what I mean? So it depends. But, also maybe the way that you approached them as well, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know you, and if you're going in there all aggressive, I want this watch, and they're lying to my face, well, I wouldn't sell you a watch either, dude. All right, Metagirl. I can't believe it's Friday already. Yes, it is Friday. New intro is awesome. Thanks, I appreciate it. I'd never spend $7,000 alone, $100,000 for a tag. I don't blame you. I wouldn't either. Although the new tag, the Carrera, I think it's pretty nice. It was like, anyway. All of the watches you made, is there one type/style of watch that you wanted to make but didn't? So that was when I was a watchmaker and I was making watches and I made all different styles. No, I mean, I could look back at it now. Would I make something different now? Of course I would. But back then when I was doing it, no. I mean, I was making exactly what I wanted to make at the time. So, yeah, I mean, again, though, if I was to do it all over, go back, then I would probably make some different watches for sure. But thanks for your question, Metagirl. I appreciate it. This comes from at 67 New England. Tony, you've mentioned you had wanted to be a professional tennis player at one point in your life. At what age did you shift from that direction and begin to pursue guitar playing and a music career? That's a good question if you want to know more personal shit about me. When it came down to it, when I was a kid, I started playing tennis. There was 3 things I wanted to do as a kid, and whichever one came first, I would have probably been really cool with it. A professional surfer, a professional skateboarder, or a professional tennis player. So when I was very young, I lived right on the beach in Malibu. Open the bottom door, step on the sand, man. Surfing and skating, skateboarding and everything. I was part of that Dogtown crew. If you remember Lords of Dogtown, I wasn't part of the crew. I was 10 years younger than all those guys, but I learned to surf from Alan Sarlo, who was the Zephyr Surf Team guy. So he's taught me how to surf and whatever, and that's what I wanted to do. And then tennis, of course, and I was really good at tennis. I don't like to say I'm really good at anything, but I'm pretty good at music, and I was really good at tennis. But the problem is due to the way my family is structured and everything was functioning, shit always kept getting taken away from me, you know what I mean? Like, moved from the beach, now I can't surf, right? I got taken where I was like, where I couldn't skateboard anymore. It was really weird, but tennis was still for a minute, fairly consistent. Then I moved to England, and lucky enough, I was there was a Middleton Sports Club, and I played as the #1 singles player for the Middleton Sports Club at like the age of 15 years old. I was constantly doing tennis tournaments and winning, some losing, of course, too. But in England, it rains like 364 and a half days a year. and I couldn't play tennis all the time, and it's like not out like in California where you almost can. And so eventually I was like, what am I going to do? And now keep in mind, I got my first guitar when I was very young as well, you know what I mean? But it wasn't really in my interest to become a professional musician or a rock star or whatever, you know what I mean? But then there was nothing left, so I just focused more on guitar, and then it just sort of was a natural progression, really, considering that I felt like everything was constantly getting taken away from me. Oh, I can't do this anymore. Well, I can't do this anymore. So I still think, I mean, tennis is still my favorite sport, but obviously I can't play anymore, but it's just one of those things, yeah. So it was a natural progression into playing guitar, and it wasn't me quitting tennis, although I was fairly burned out on tennis because I was playing so much at one point, you know. But then in England, you don't get to play as much as you like, so that's that, man. But thanks for your question, dude. This next one comes from On the Track Experience. What do you think about the VC56 only date? Blue or silver dial, leather strap. The VC56 is the Vacheron Constantin 56. And there was a couple of questions down below. So, I mean, a couple of answers. A couple of viewers replied. My only consideration for you would be that the VC56 is the only VC model without a Geneva seal. Would you be able to live with that? Oh my gosh, too much drama for that, man. But if yes, is the answer, blue is the best color. Good luck. Yeah, I love that watch. That's one of my favorite Vacherons. I've been wanting that watch for a long time, and I just haven't pulled the trigger on it. So yeah, I would definitely go with the blue. And as far as getting it with the bracelet, you know, he's not wrong. But yeah, I mean, you could do it that way too. But I'd take it either way. You know what I mean? But I don't care about the Geneva seal, actually. So it's because the Vacheron, the 56 is the only Vacheron. I think the movement's not an in-house Vacheron movement. It might be wrong. I can't remember though. Correct me if I'm wrong, or let me know. But thanks for your question, man. Congrats. This is from Yura, YURA.R. Congrats, bro. Awesome pickup. That must be this one. Besides Daytona, what do you think your next Rolex pickup will be? Thanks. I don't know, dude, and I don't even know if I'm gonna get a Daytona. And I'm actually, that's another reason why I had to delete those two videos, because of that exhibition only tag, and I, you know, I wasn't happy the fact that I had to delete one of my videos that had 9,000 freaking views on it, you know what I mean? But I don't want to jeopardize or compromise anything that I have with my AD, you know. But at the same time, I can also shoot back a text that's saying, I guess it doesn't matter how much business I've sent you in the past, right? But so I, you know, apologize, you know, for talking like that. I mean, I love Bindi. I think, you know, they're awesome. They've been really good to me. But I've also been really good to them too with the amount of promotion I've given them. You know what I mean? So at this point, I'm cool with what I have. I don't even care if I get a Daytona, bro. Thanks for your question. Tony, you and I have similar tastes in watches. Sadly, we have different budgets. Can you do a comparison between your OP36 and your Datejust 36 and the bracelets? The oyster on the 36 feels like butter. I don't know how it compares to the Jubilee. Thanks, man. Enjoy the timepieces. Charles M. Metcalf. You know what? I'm going to do a separate video altogether on that. So I'm not even going to answer your question, all right? I'm going to just do a video on that. So having said that, you guys are awesome. I'll see you on the next one.